Hey everyone! Today what we're going to be going over is what to do if you have knee pain. So I've been getting a lot of questions about what types of exercises are good when you have knee pain. So my first suggestion would be, whenever you feel any type of pain that has been going on for a long time, I would suggest that you go and visit your doctor. That way you can get a diagnosis and find out if you have a serious injury, if you have any meniscus tears or crepitus, tendinitis, anything like that. That way you're just making sure that you're not going to make anything worse by exercising. So I would definitely suggest that you get clearance from a doctor first. And then my second suggestion would be, this video is just to give you a couple of ideas of some things that you can do if you're having trouble finding exercises. If at any point you try these exercises and you feel pain, I would suggest that you stop immediately. A good thing to do before you start these exercises is to establish a pain scale. So on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being no pain, 10 being the most pain that you've ever felt in your life, you want to select a number that best reflects how you feel today before you start these exercises. Once you start going through the exercise, you should see if that pain scale number that you first came up with increases by 2. If you feel an increase in that pain, go ahead and stop the exercise. And again, when you're done with your exercise, if maybe 2 or 3 hours later you start to feel an increase in that pain scale, that's probably a good reflection that you went a little too intense on the exercises. So I would suggest either not doing those or bringing down the intensity on them. Okay? So another good rule is when we're doing these exercises, please be very cautious of what your body position is like. If you hear any type of clicking or popping or you feel that going on, see if it reflects pain. If it's not painful when you're hearing this clicking or popping, it probably just means that you're not warmed up enough or you're not in the right position. So pay attention to it. If you are one of those people that have crepitus, if you hear clicking or popping or you feel it, go ahead and stop that exercise because that's not something that you want to keep doing. Okay? So the first exercise that I'm going to show is going to be for people who aren't quite comfortable with doing knee flexion yet and they're really not sure about how they're feeling bending their knees doing exercises. So this is going to be a Romanian deadlift. So the key things to pay attention to with this exercise is glutes, hamstrings, and core. Okay, so those are your 3 focuses. All of the exercises I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to tell you what the focus is, and we're really going to be particularly paying attention to stabilizing your knee joint and strengthening the supporting structures around it, meaning calves, hamstrings, and quads and glutes. Okay? So this first exercise is a Romanian deadlift. What you're going to do is you're going to stand with your feet hip-width apart, just like this. You're going to hinge at your hips, make sure that your core is very tight. You're going to bend down until you feel a stretch in your hamstring. So for me, this is right about here, and I feel a stretch here. My core is still tight. You're going to then engage your glutes, and you're going to squeeze, and you're going to come back up. Once you're comfortable with this exercise, you can add a weight, like either a dumbbell or a barbell or something like that. So I have just a regular plate. And so I'm going to keep it really close to my body, keep the core tight, shoulder blades retracted, and I'm going to bend, squeeze my glutes, and come back up. Again, if at any point you feel that your back is starting to round like this, we don't want that. Or if you feel stuck, like your hips can't go back any farther, just go ahead and give a slight bend in your knees to let you come down a little bit farther. Another progression to this exercise would be doing it single leg. So you would just stand on one leg. This is going to require a little bit more knee stability, and it's going to engage a little bit more of your inner thigh. Use the same range of motion, straight down, shoot that feeling up to the sky, and then back up. Okay? So that would be a Romanian deadlift. Another good exercise to start with, if you're not sure how you feel about bending your knee, is doing wall sits. So we're going to use the wall behind us. What you're going to do is you're going to come up. Again, have your feet shoulder-width apart, toes facing forward, and then you want to make sure you have enough distance so that when you're in this squat position, your knees aren't going past your toes. You want to be at a nice 90-degree angle, sitting flush against the wall, abs engaged, and you're going to be in this position for about 30 seconds, or just as long as you can. You should be feeling a burn in your quads and your glutes, and then when you're ready, you're just going to come right back So that's another really good exercise. Once you feel comfortable with those, you can go ahead and progress to maybe lunges in place. So with lunges, you're going to be about here. Again, the important thing is making sure that your knee does not go over your toe. You want to make sure that it stays behind it and all the weight is on your glutes. You're just going to come down. Don't let your knee touch the ground. Squeeze that glute muscle to come up. Your core is nice and engaged. You don't want to be too far forward. You don't want to be back here. And you don't want this knee to go past your toe. You want to be right here. You're just going to go up and down. You can start with about 10 on each leg. Again, once you get comfortable, you can go ahead and either hold dumbbells at your side or get a barbell, kettlebells, anything like that. You can also progress this exercise by doing walking lunges. So same range of motion, but you're just going to walk forward with it. And then eventually you can go to doing like side lunges or even backwards lunges. So those are all progressions pending your knee feeling well. Another great exercise is the step-ups. I don't have a very large step on hand, but you don't need one. I just have the top of like an aerobic step. As you get better at your step-ups, you can go ahead and add some risers to make it higher. You can use the stairs in your house, any small step that you find. So the key thing with these step-ups is, again, you want to make sure that when you step, you make sure that your knee doesn't go over your toe. You want to transfer the weight onto your glute muscle and come up. If lifting the opposite knee is too much for you right now, if you can't stabilize, you can go ahead and just put that foot down and then come. You can either choose to keep your foot on or you can take it off. So I can either come here and take the foot off, or I can leave it and just do this. And again, this is a pretty shallow step, but it's a great starter if you're still not sure how your knees feels with steps. But it is a great way to get that knee flexion in and get you used to being able to walk up and down the stairs without pain. So those are 4 exercises that I think are great starting places for you. And then all of these can be progressed to harder, more complicated exercises the more that you do them. So go ahead and try them out, tell me how they go. And again, make sure that you seek professional help with your knee pain if any of these things make it worse, and also before you start.